Cardi B sentenced to life after this happened.
So yes, it's true that Cardi got a residency in Las Vegas in the Palms.
Do you want to win any of these items on your screen? If so, be sure to watch the whole video, leave a like, and comment the hidden message. And with that being said, let's get right into the video. There's so much you can say about the rapper Cardi B, but the question really is, how much about that would you actually say is good? Despite her meteoric rise to fame, she has also had her fair share of controversies, some of which will impact her life negatively. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to King Trending. Number 4. The recent incident. While it's true that Cardi B is rather controversial in regards to how she handles herself, as well as what she sings about in her tracks, it's also true that many of her acts are rather harmless, but that doesn't mean all of her acts are harmless. In fact, at times she can cause quite a fuss, such as something that happened in the not-so-distant past. This particular event happened well over 6 months ago when Cardi B and her crew went into a club, which is not something that should be a surprise in regards to her frequently visiting such a place. Anyways, it was on a Saturday around 3 AM when, for whatever reason, Cardi B got in an argument with a female bartender. You might stop here and go, so she got into a verbal altercation? So what? That's not that bad. It happens to everyone. And so, yeah, you would be right if it only stopped there. Things escalated very quickly. A disturbance basically started in the place to the extent that the bartender was hurt, chairs, bottles, and other items were thrown around, and chaos basically just filled up the entire place. Think about a cowboy bar altercation, or that one skirmish in The Punisher Season 2 where everything just about went wrong. Kind of like that. But what got Cardi B in trouble wasn't just that. It was after the altercation began. Cardi B and her entourage fled the scene, likely trying to avoid getting arrested or possibly trying to be safe. You can likely sympathize for her for this. Who wants to really get caught in a massive brawl? Plus, her security team is hired to keep her safe, so it makes sense that they'll try to get her out of there.
Cardi, how'd it go?
Check yourself.
Have a good Friday.
Can't block pedestrian traffic, man.
However, after the altercation ended, eventually, someone needed to pay the price for not just what happened, but for starting the whole thing. And sure enough, the bartender identified Cardi B. Ironically enough, nothing was done to Cardi B right off the bat. But that soon changed when she was given summons to come to the police station for questioning. She willingly went to the station, but right after that, something must have gone wrong, because then she was charged with misdemeanor, reckless endangerment, and assault. Assault is a very serious crime, and especially for someone like Cardi B, as I'll explain later. And reckless endangerment is another charge that you'll have to be careful with, because they like to convict people on this charge to help prove a point. After the charge, Cardi B didn't really say anything, but her lawyer did. We are aware of no evidence that she caused anybody harm from that night. Her lawyer, Jeff Kern, told reporters, "We expect the matter to be resolved expeditiously." That's very much lawyer talk for, we're gonna try and get this swept under the rug, but that really didn't happen. And now she's going to potentially suffer some consequences, which is ironic because she had the chance to truly sweep this under the rug, but refused. Number 3, I'll take my chances in court.
Cardi, one look.
On the 19th of April, Cardi B was brought back into court for a 3-minute appearance. Do I need to spell out how sad that is? In which he rejected a plea deal for the event, which isn't something you'd usually hear from a celebrity case like this. So those close to the court case said that if she agreed to plead guilty to this event, she would be given reduced charges and guaranteed no jail time. But not Cardi B. She didn't feel that she needed that on a record or felt she could win the case. Either way, the plea deal was a no-go. So our next court appearance is May 31st, which is rapidly approaching, and there lies the question, will she regret doing this? One thing she definitely didn't regret was her appearance in court, because there were fans waiting for her outside of the court doors, proving that even in her court attire, Cardi B is still one of the most popular rappers around. Well, of course, she's the queen of rap to some, and if you have the chance to see her, well, anywhere, when do you take the chance? So what happens now? Well, she has to go and face the trial, the judge, and potentially the jury. As noted, the case begins at the last day of May, and it's very likely that this case will drag on throughout the rest of the year unless an agreement, settlement, or another plea deal is given. Which of these are likely? Well, it's very hard to say, for the simple reason that Cardi B is quite unpredictable, which has obviously been proven thanks to her early plea deal rejections. So you might think just having 1 year in jail is what Cardi B is really rejecting the deal for, because, you know, in your mind, it's not much jail time. But for someone like Cardi B, a year is a lifetime in some ways. Number 2, what makes a year special?
Stinky. Why your feet stink so much? You got your daddy feet, cause mama's feet never stink.
So no doubt you have questions. How is a year a lot of time for Cardi B? Well, given her past record, it's entirely possible that she'll get out of jail in months instead of having to serve the full year. Or should the need arise for the full year, she'll likely do it. She was raised in groups that pride themselves on being tough, and Cardi B is tough. So she could totally do the time, but would she actually really want to do that? Nah, not so much. You need to think about this from the perspective of not just someone who is Cardi B in terms of career and personal life, but what Cardi B will lose if she's in jail for a year. Not to mention when she goes to jail, likely later in the year if convicted, will also play a big role in things to come. Let's start off with the obvious blow. She'll be far away from both her husband, Migos the rapper Offset, and their daughter Culture, who was born just in 2018. Despite being on tour and still making music, Cardi B has always been close to her daughter, but jail is definitely one of those things that can make her lose time with her. She wants to be with her daughter as much as she can, and jail will prevent that heavily. It's possible that she'll be able to see her during visitor times, but it's also possible Cardi B won't want to see her because of the embarrassment of the situation. It all really depends on her mindset. Plus, it's not really the same seeing your child for a few minutes versus every minute. And despite a lot of hard times recently with her husband Offset, they're back together and are loving their time with one another. Even if they did a very unique music video recently for Offset's song Cloud. It was, well, let's just say, in a better way, something else. But she wouldn't be able to be with her husband if she's in jail for the next year. Oh, but also did I forget to mention that Offset himself is also in trouble with the law. Yay! Everyone's in trouble, my god. His crimes are far worse though, because he's possibly facing a 12-year sentence. Yeah, it's that bad. And his court case is also in May, so it's possible that both of them could get convicted at the same time, which would mean that neither of them would be able to take care of their daughter, which is a big no-go, and Cardi B might be rethinking her choices given these turns of events. But as sad as it may sound, family and loved ones aren't the only things to worry about here in terms of Cardi B. There are also her music career to think about and how a one-year hiatus would affect it. Many rappers have gone to jail and come back making music, but that doesn't change the fact that while she's in jail, she'll more than likely not be putting out new music. Even if she times it perfectly for a new album or single to release, it's a planned event. She's not making new music to come out soon after. And she won't be doing tours, music appearances, show awards, and etc. It may not seem like much, but to a star like Cardi, that's a big deal. A very big deal even. Especially since 2018, without a doubt, was the biggest year of Cardi B's career so far. And yeah, that's something not to say lightly. She's had numerous hits and songs in the past and collaborations like I Like It Like That, Taki Taki, and many more, all of which have helped her cement her claim as the queen of rap in many fans and critics' eyes. Her work is so beloved in 2018 that in the 2019 Grammys, she won Best Rap Album, and there was some stiff competition for that award, including an album by the late Nipsey Hussle. Anyway, after having such a big year, and the thing that most people agree with you need to do is to go and make an even bigger year after that. 2019 could be a big year for her, and of course, if she gets to stay out of jail. She's already off to a good start with the Grammy win.
Cardi B!
And a collaboration song she did with Offset and Cloud, and that song of course has already reached 20 million views on YouTube. Again, a great start, but the only thing better would be a good start and a great finish. She needs to be out of jail to continue making music, and if that doesn't happen, well, she can kiss future Grammy albums and certain revenue streams and more bye-bye. True, she could plan ahead and get things rolling where she can take care of themselves while she's behind bars, but planning can only go so far, and it won't save everything, both in terms of personal and professional lives. To many, the plea deal was the best option for her. She pleads guilty to minor charges and gets maybe a fine and no jail time, but she didn't do that. And of course that confused many, to say the least. And of course there's the option that she's innocent of the matter and that this is just a crash grab by the bartender or a misunderstanding. That of course is very possible, but is it likely? And of course that's the mystery. And the bartender identified Cardi B, and she must have known how it would turn out if it was a lie and a cash grab. So you have to think the bartender is serious about all of this. Well, only time will tell. Number 1, the first step of many.
One report says Nicki deliberately stepped on Cardi's train and then said something nasty about Cardi's baby daughter.
The sad irony of this whole thing is that while Cardi B might get a year in prison, she will get out. But the question is, what's next? In the past, Cardi B has done some things that aren't exactly nice, including getting into a literal altercation with fellow queen of rap, Nicki Minaj, during a Fashion Week show. It resulted in Cardi B getting somewhat seriously jumped, and to add to that, she revealed that she wasn't exactly the best person ever in one of her former jobs before doing rap. Specifically when she was a dancer, she claimed to have stolen from certain guys, and this got her a lot of flack online, especially on social media. And this led her to say this: I never glorified the things I brought up in that live video. I never put those things in my music because I'm not proud of it, and I feel a responsibility not to glorify it. The men I spoke about in my life were men that I dated that I was involved with. Men that were conscious, willing, and aware. I have a past that I can't change. We all do. While it does sound like she's being conscious and apologetic about her past, she's also admitting what she is. By her own admission, she doesn't really like people to think of her as a role model, and she doesn't feel like she is one. And if you listen to her music, she definitely isn't one, and that's why she does things like the altercation with Minaj, like talking about her past like this, and the bar rumble that she apparently started. She's somewhat of a volatile woman, and that is going to continue to get her in trouble. So the only real question is, what will be the next incident that puts her in trouble like this? And will it result in another jail sentence? It's very possible, but in truth, the only person who can truly answer this is Cardi B. And so there you have it. A look at some of the big controversies in Cardi B's life right now that will have an impact on her career and life in general in some form or another. How much can you really blame Cardi B for what has happened? Also, do you think that she'll be able to get out of these various situations? And of course, will she make another mistake soon that won't end well? Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time on King Trending. A simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We will be giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's really your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. Go for it.